All right, afternoon, everybody. Just got off work and started tinkering on this a little bit. I'm printing another pattern. I wanted to show you all these, and that's the wire I'm going to use for this. For each ECM, I'm going to just use 14 gauge. That's overkill since it's silicon jacketed. Can handle really high heat, and it's more rated for, wet conditions. So, and these, I'm printing another one. I'm printing a bigger one right now at this very moment. But these are jigs to help me drill this for the ECM, a particular ECM style, and this will fit on the ECM's cover. I can't show you that right now, but because I don't have the cover in my hand. But this will also fit in that hole and allow me to pilot drill with this. So everything's centered and it's perfect. It's perfect. The 3D printer did it, or I did it on the rendering Tinkercad. So, and the printer made it basically perfect. It's within, it's probably 15 thou at best, or at worst, out of tolerance somewhere, but that's nothing for what we're doing. It's actually a little tighter than that. Depending on how I can make it tighter, I adjust it to where it's very, very, very close, but don't need to for this. I'm running at like 200% on the speed, so, and it still comes out decent because I'm just going to drill through it anyway. So, yep, there's the, this is 1.25 to 1. So, it's giving the motor a little leverage too. And I don't know of very many generator manufacturers that do that. Most of them are 1 to 1. So giving the engine a little leverage is going to make it turn a little easier, and these are already accustomed to being spun at a lower speed. So it's perfect. It could be the perfect storm. I'm hoping it is. And I can still go faster, but the higher the frequency you go on this, there's some cool things that happen. Get into that later when you do go over speed, but you just got to watch the core temperature because it can... you can start to warm that core up because it wasn't ever intended to go that fast, that high a frequency. So you got to keep that in mind, but we can still bump it up a little bit if we wanted to, We could probably take it up to 1400 and not get warm, not real warm. You take it up higher than that, you're going to get way more power. Sure, I bet I could get the full rating if I overspin that and run it hard and try to get as much, but my voltage will be high. There's ways I can reduce it. You can wire it delta. We'll get into that when I get everything mounted, the wiring, because that's a whole nother ball game, man. I'll have to set up a tripod or something, and I'm working on a camera for my head. That way y'all can see what I see when I'm doing it. That would be cool. I have one. I'll show you. It looked nice. It was $22 from AliExpress, and it's got a nice image, but it's so shaky. When I was using it, it looked like I was doing this, and I was like, I wasn't shaking, man. So it has no stabilization. So I know GoPros are good. They're expensive. And I don't really need that good of a camera, to be honest. I just need, even 720 is fine, as long as it's stable. So, and it has a light. That's all I care about for these videos, because 720 saves space, and it's still HD. You may not zoom in on numbers very easy, but you can still, and you still can to a degree, but yeah, you just don't need 4K for this. And for documentary purposes, I know some of y'all are downloading these as I upload them. So it's better. It's better. It's more compact for your drives. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to cover this. I'm going to make some plates. I got the dimensions already now. I'm going to make some cover plates, probably 14 gauge. That's probably what I'll do. It doesn't need to be super thick. It just needs to be able to catch a chain. And it's going to be steel, so... It probably wouldn't. It might dent it. If it did break, it might dent the cover, but I almost doubt it. If I painted it, it'd probably scratch the paint. But yeah, that way we're boxed in when this is running. At least on the sides. That way, because if the chain can only come up, then I can stand to the side, and it can't get me. You know what I mean? I say that chains can do some weird stuff, so it's probably better that we cover it. And then I'll make guards for this. This one probably doesn't need a guard back here. I could cover it partially. This one does, in my opinion. I'm gonna put one there, a nice little guard, just the top cover. That way, it's the top of it's covered. It can't really get you if it breaks and you're working on it. But then again, this whole thing's gonna be enclosed in a cover, but it's gonna be an aluminum cover. It's gonna be white. It's gonna be very light. I didn't show you all my muffler yet. I didn't show you all that. I pie cut welded it. I didn't get an elbow because this pipe is a little bigger. It's just carbon. It was a little bit bigger than the exhaust. The exhaust was 1.5 inches, and I can't remember exactly what the idea is of that. I think it was 1 3/4 or something, some weird DOM tubing. It's a weird DOM tubing, but anyway, yeah, so I pie welded it, just simple, right? And then I ran it out a little long. That way I can do what I want. I was thinking about putting a flush exhaust, kind of like you would see on the side of RVs in here, but then again, I could come out and dump it down. It's not a big deal, because it's already going through a muffler. It's already muffled, so we're good there. These are the bridge rectifiers I'm going to use. They're pretty cheap. Got them on, where did I get these? Amazon, yeah. 3-phase bridges, 50 amp each. I'll probably just mount them somehow. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do all the controls yet, but because I want to leave this open for a generator head still. This spot, when these are gone, I want to leave this open, so if I put the controls, it needs to be, well, the fuel tank will be here too. I'm putting in a 5-gallon tank. I got to weld it and build one, but it's simple, and I already did the calculation. It'll be about 5 gallons. It should be fine. I could even go 4, because this is probably a gallon. I don't know what that tank is, if that. I don't know. It's at least a gallon, I think. But yeah, it needs about 5. So I don't know where I'm going to put the control yet. I'm not going to put it in here because the chain, I don't like that. I don't know yet. I could put it on top. I could put a shield in, like a stainless shield, and then put it on top. Probably heat rises, probably not a good idea. It needs to be down low somewhere. I'll figure it out. Even if I got to extend the box, that's probably the best bet. And see, I'm engineering right now. I'm thinking with you guys. So I could even come off the side. That way it's not in the box, not in the heat zone, not in the hot zone. And it's outside, and it's got its own vent, and then the wiring can come in. That's probably the best bet, huh? Yeah, I agree. So yeah, that's easy. I can fab a little box that screws on the side. It's waterproof and everything like that. It's easy. Just silicone, whatever you want. Oh, and I did have to shape these. That's what I wanted to make the video about. This is a 41 sprocket, okay? And I could have done better on my logistics, but this is what I screwed up. So I ordered that, and I wanted these from Surplus Center because they're cheap. But they're for 40 chains, so I just ground them down. I put them in my pinwheel, and I stuck the grinder on there, and then I polished it to where it looks okay. I mic'd them so they're right. They're the right dimension for 41 now, which is usually your standard motorcycle type chain. You know what I mean? It's that type. So pretty heavy duty. It should be more than enough for this. The only worry, even the 35 should be good because you can make a 20 horse go-kart and use 35 chain as the drive chain, so it can handle quite a bit, more than you think. And this is going to be a more staticky load on the chain because once it's under a load, the tension won't change. Other than maybe there might be some harmonic that comes through the chain. I kind of doubt it. I was going to put rubber. I got some rubber spacers too for the motor. Thank you, YouTuber, that suggested that, by the way, because he in the comments said that, and I was like, damn, I didn't think of that yet. Good thinking. So I left that in there, but I want to bushing this too with rubber. Actually, that's what I can do. I got some squares I can cut. That's about 1/4 inch, and I could suck those down. The only thing with that is I didn't really want the bolt. This bolt's what I'm going to use for these pillow blocks. 1/2 inch bolt, grade 5. Because that's a big deal. This has got to be very strong right here. Can't break. You really need a 3rd pillow block if you're doing anything similar to this. You don't have to do it this way, like this style. But if you do, make sure you kind of take your time and do it right, man. Make something that'll last a while. I could have even went with 1 inch shaft, but 3/4 should be plenty. And I had it already, and I had a lot of stuff for a 3/4. Like, I ordered all this, but yeah, I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of keyway. I have some in my pocket right now that I cut. Yeah, keyway for, I need to leave that here for those sprockets right there, actually. Because the other one, I won't get a keyway since these are D shafts. So what I do is I pilot hole. That's what I did to this too, is I pilot hole. You set one screw right there on the D, right, obviously. And then on what else I do is I put this screw in the keyway here because I had to drill this one out. It's hard to find a 25 millimeter sprocket. So, and then I pilot drilled. I took a drill bit that just barely fit in the hole and was real careful, and I straight drilled a dimple in the shaft. And then I buried my screw in it. That's another way you can lock it to the shaft. It's not ideal. but it shouldn't strip. If it was only this screw in the keyway, I'd be a little concerned, but it's not. It's also this dimpled in and cranked down, and I dimpled it pretty deep. It went in there probably at least an 1/8 inch, so it's buried in there. It might be further than that because I got some shavings out. So, yeah, that's a trick you can do. It's not ideal, but I don't have the equipment to grind a keyway in there. I can't even moon shaft. I can't even moon keyway it. So it'll work. It'll work out. If not, I'll buy another sprocket and figure it out. Or I'll get a 1 inch and then have to bore it a little bit, and then I can grind the keyway. I should have done that, but I already had this too. And it is this tiny bit crooked. I think it'll be okay. If not, I can take it to work and we can work on it, put it in a machine, or I can get another one because I have another sprocket. I have a couple of those. It's a little different size. I think it's smaller, so it would actually reduce the speed more, and I do want to put it on. I want to test it. So, yeah, I don't know. A little bit crooked, a little worried about that, but I think it'll be fine because I'm gonna probably put an idler. The torque is going to be on the bottom. That's one thing. I kind of wish I'd have put this on the other side. I like the torque to be on top, but beggars can't be choosers, because if you have two things, one of them is going to go from the bottom, if you have two items on here anyway. So, but I can put an idler up here. I can come up with a spring and put a little idler if I need it. I'm not sure if I need it. We'll see. We'll see how it works. This should be fine because the chain's flexible. Okay, it's just a I don't want vibration, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I know it won't throw the chain, especially when I get it tight, because that chain doesn't just come out unless it breaks. So it's definitely going to have a cover. It's not real bad, but you can kind of see it a little bit there. You can kind of see, maybe you can see it. Anyway, I've had a lot of stuff that has crooked sprockets on it. Even belt-driven stuff. Belt's even safer because it doesn't give a crap, you know. Yeah, I already showed you all this in another video. Let's see. I guess that's it. Look at that X13 there, man. Those are nice. This is a 1-horse. This is the one I got to trim down, and I forgot that's what I was going to borrow the grinder. I was going to borrow my grinder at work, but I forgot, so I'll do that tomorrow. Yeah. I like to do everything all at once, if you haven't noticed. So, yep. 2 covers. I got 2 more to print. One's printing right now. It's a big one. And even for the white one, even though it's got holes kind of where it should be, where I want the bolt head, because I'm using 3/8, where I want the bolt heads a little bit past that, so the guide's critical. And it'll pop right in those holes on those 2. On this one, I made a 2-stage core that comes in. 1 stage to get that center, and the 2nd stage for this hole, because that's a bigger hole. That's like almost 3/4 right there. The hole is, because it's a 1/2 inch shaft. And then I got the step bit to make those bigger if I need to. All right, this is 12 minutes, or almost 13. Y'all have a good night. Hope y'all also vote on the air conditioner project. Go vote on that if you didn't catch it. Peace.